Alfonso Graham seems to have kind of caught the eye of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Eddie Faulkner said that they might, quote unquote, have something in this kid. Anthony McFarland is still believed to hold the upper hand for the running back 3 position. And Eddie Faulkner also told me that, he has a really good opportunity to kind of finally define himself within this offense and be utilized at a bunch of different places. You talked to Alfonso Graham. You've done your homework on Alfonso Graham. You think this guy actually does have a shot to be the next, I guess, quote unquote, Jaylen Warren and kind of make a spark on this team?
Yeah, he's gonna have a chance, man. I mean, I think that he's intriguing to me. I think it's really intriguing that the offense that he came from was almost exclusively zone heavy, which the Steelers obviously ran a ton of zone last year, so he's familiar with this type of offense. Fonzo told me that he ran more inside zone than outside zone, but they kind of did both over there. So incredibly productive. I think last season over 1,000 yards. He had some monster games, man. Like after he really came on over the past 2 seasons. I mean, he had a couple games where he was getting like 170, 200 yards. So he's going to have a chance. I think he's definitely a name to watch as we go through the preseason. It just kind of, it's just about, securing those opportunities, and I want to see how he looks, in backs on backers, catching the ball. I think he's a solid runner. And that's probably going to be, kind of his calling card in the backfield. One of the things I've been watching to spoil some of my own content, I've been watching McFarland from last year. I watched his preseason reps, and then I watched him against the Colts, and that was by far the best he's looked, man. I really do think that if it wasn't for Jaylen Warren just coming out and just having like an incredible offseason last year, I think that he would have been more involved. But there's some things about McFarland that I really like. I thought that he looked more patient, but also more decisive. And I know that's like a really fine, delicate line to tread as a running back. But he was impressive to me when I went back and watched this film. So, he does have the leg up on Graham, though. Like I talk about this all the time, but, draft position, even like 3 years later, like even being a 4th round pick, it does give you a little bit of a leg up. So,
do you think that gives it a leg up?
This organization. So,
but do you think it gives it a leg up even though Khan is the new GM? Like Khan didn't draft him.
I mean, how significant is that? I don't know, but you got to think like this dude's been in he was spent most of the season last year on the practice squad, but like he's been in the organization for 3 years. So like he knows the offense. They know exactly like what kind of player he is and what he brings to the team. Whereas they're kind of like in this like filling out process with all these other guys, the other undrafted running backs, Alfonso Graham being one of those guys. So, I think McFarland's really interesting because obviously he has more juice than any of the other Steelers backs, like just in terms of like straight line speed. I mean, the dude can really, really jet. One of the things I thought was kind of funny when I went back and watched the Colts game. So in preseason, I did not think that he did well in very limited opportunities in pass pro. And I remember that being a thing 2 years ago in training camp, that he was struggling a little bit in pass pro. When I saw him in training camp last year, the Steelers didn't have anybody at the linebacker position that could cover him. He was destroying people the couple of days that I was there. But then I don't know how much that says about him because we saw what the Steelers linebackers look like last year. So it's kind of interesting. But
against Devin Bush,
when he played last year against the Colts, they had him out there running routes that like they don't even let Najee run. So it was like it's kind of funny to me that I think that I don't know. Maybe they really like him as a receiver. I don't know. I don't know I'm interested to see his usage again in the preseason and like what they let him do.
Yeah, me too. And that's the thing. I agree with you. I think that they want him. I don't think they want him to be necessarily a wide receiver, but I think they want him to just basically just touch the football in space. Like it's like, here you go. Here's an open field. Just run as fast as you can and things will happen. That's what I think they see. And that's what I think they've seen in him. Like this isn't, and Anthony McFarland has, like, in my opinion, last year, if Jaylen Warren wasn't here and did what he did, Anthony McFarland would have been running back 2. Benny Snell would have been still running back 3. But Anthony McFarland wasn't going to make the team over Benny Snell because Benny Snell could do anything you need a running back 3 to do. Like anything. You need him to pass protect? Beautiful. He could do it. You need him to play special teams? Beautiful. He could do it. No problems asked. Anthony McFarland's not going to do all that. But I think that 2 years ago, I believe, he looked real, real good at OTAs and minicamp and in training camp, but then he got hurt right at the end of training camp. That didn't help him. Last year, it was the emergence of Jalen Warren. This year, like, if Alfonso Graham beats you out, then it's on Anthony McFarland. There's no more
Yeah,
excuses
I
at
mean,
this point.
he's last year was rookie deal. Like he's not gonna get too many better chances. I feel like than he's got right now to secure that
No,
job. You know,
no,
and
me neither. But I think that if he does make the team, I think that they could utilize him. Like, I think
yeah,
how many? Maybe like 2-3 snaps a game. But
yeah, it'll be
those two,
very
three snaps would be
limited.
cool. Like, it'd be nice to have somebody, because if Alfonso Graham makes the team, yeah, he's probably going to touch the ball maybe once a game, maybe probably zero. I think Anthony McFarland, you could try to work in there as another weapon.
He was very transparent. This was one interview that I did see in the past like week or two about, he knows that special teams is kind of going to be a really important thing for him to make this team, and all the guys at the end of the roster, like you're talking about your second, third string guys, like those guys typically have to contribute in some fashion on special teams. So
Yes.
Benny Snell Jr., like that was the real big selling point for him to make the roster, was that he was a productive teams guy, and Danny Smith's group has lost a good amount of people in the offseason. You think about like Derek Watt,
Dude, everybody.
Arthur Millette, James Pierre's back, but is he going to make the team? Miles Boykin's still here. Is he going to make the team?
Marcus Allen.
Marcus Allen's gone. I think he led the team last year in special team tackles. So there's a lot of opportunity there as well for McFarland to kind of make a name for himself. So it'll be interesting to see, man. I think the RB3 battle is kind of intriguing to me, even if like we still very much expect that to be like a really limited role in the offense. I think that McFarland's speed, like I said, I think it's just a little bit different than the other guys that they have on the roster. And, for an offense that doesn't create a ton of explosive plays on its own, I think that having somebody with that type of dynamic element to their athleticism is, sort of intriguing, at least to me.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think that's look at RB3. I'm all about any competition. Like, I think James Pierre and Luke Barku is going to turn into a competition come training camp. Very excited about that one. Wide receiver 5-6 is like a loaded competition with like Des Fitzpatrick making his way in there. I'm all about, you know what I mean? The starters on this team are defined. There is not a position outside of maybe nose tackle where you're like, oh man, I wonder who's going to start there. Give me my RB3 battles every single week.